This Saturday, the 10th of April 2021, I will be the feature performer at Cherry Poets at the Cherry Tree Hotel, which is at 53 Balmain Street, Cremorne, Victoria, 3121. It's like a 10-minute walk from Richmond Station. Now, before we go into doing the feature set though, there are important warm-up exercises one should do before performing any sort of exercise to not over-strenuate yourself from the go, right? You need to warm up, loosen the muscles, and then proceed with the exercise. So, before I go through and do some practice, whatever else I need to do, I will do some warm-up exercises. So, here's a warm-up exercise routine that I suggest. What you could do is you get a book like this. Make sure you have loose pieces of paper in there. You can have, bits of poetry in there as well, but make sure you got loose pieces of paper. They are integral to this exercise. Make sure the paper that can fall out. That is very important. Now, right, so what we do is we're going to flick through the book a number of times with the occasional paper falling out, and you bend down with your knees, pick up the paper, put it back in the book, and then keep flicking through. We'll go 7 one way, then we'll swap hands and we'll go 7 the other way. So we're going to start this without the use of a lectern, and then we'll do it with a lectern, which we have one right here. Now, my phone just fell on the floor. That was the wrong way to pick something up when you drop it. So let me do that again. Bend at the knees. This is very integral for doing this exercise. So you bend at the knees, pick up your phone. I don't recommend throwing your phone on the floor of a pub or wherever you're doing your poetry gig, but here I've got soft carpet, it's fine. Now, so let's continue. What we'll do is we'll go 1, 2, 3, drop it, stop, then down at the knees, pick up the piece of paper, put it back in, then continue. Go to 1, 2, just count the binded sheets, not the loose ones. You don't have to drop every one. 3, oh, good. Now bend at the knees, pick it up, put it in. 4, don't count that one. 5. Now, if you're finding none of them are falling out, that means you're holding here too well. You need them to fall out for this exercise. When you're actually up there on stage reading, you can hold it a bit tighter to make sure they don't fall out, but they inevitably tend to fall out anyway. What was I up to? 4, I'll just count 4. 5, then up, 6, 7. Swap hands. We go the other way, because we need to do exercises in both arms. So what's the use of doing in one arm and not the other? And then we go 1, and whoop. Now that one's fallen behind the lectern. We can forget about that for a moment. I'll grab another sheet. 3, 4, 5. If you're finding none of them are falling out, just make one fall out. You need to bend up and down a few times. 5. Right. 6. And knees. I didn't quite bend right. I did bend my knees, but I did go back a bit. If it falls out again, pick it up again. 6. 7. Now, I recommend doing that, going back, 3 to 5 times should be enough. And after you've done that about 3 or 5 times, we're going to do this using the lectern. After we do the lectern, we'll be doing stuff with microphones. Now, you go here, you put your paper in here. So we'll go to the right now after about 7 pages or so, yep, around about there. Put that in there. So we've got this right at the end. So what we're going to do, we're going to throw all the bits of paper on the ground. We're going to pick up all the paper and then put them all together at the other end. Inevitably, if we want a big wad of paper that falls out as you flick it across accidentally onto the floor. Then you bend at the knees, put the paper back, and then go the other way. Well, like this. You put it back, but you put it back at the other end of where you're flicking back and forth. So, let's open it up, and we go. 1, don't let that fall out. 2, 3, 4. Now, notice the first round of this gives you a bit of practice of when you do deliberately want to throw them on the ground as you're going across, which is one common practice of presenting poetry. So, 5, 6, 7, well, I've done 8 here, and now this, so I've got a big wad here, so you go like that, so the whole lot falls on the ground, accidentally, or reality, whatever. Right, now, bend at the knees, pick up all the paper, picking it up. Just like so. And then we'll put all this paper right at the other end, just before the first page, so we can throw it all off in the other direction. So, now you can swap hands as you're doing this, for like this, like so. 2. Or we can just do all one hand. Here we are at the end. Throw it on the ground. Bend down. Pick it up. Throw all the fine work at the other end, ready to throw on the ground again. Try and use both, mix your hands up when you're doing it now and then. Like maybe do one like one hand, the other hand the other way, and then swap it around. Do that about 3 or 5 times. Now, don't think that's the end of it, because as I mentioned, there's microphone technique. You are going to need to do some warm-up exercises with the microphone. When I say microphone technique, I'm not talking about use of your vocals, which you can do that obviously to try and get your out the way. A little trick to that is get in the habit of when you go to do a p or a t, just tilt your head just slightly that way, and then you don't get the pops. That comes with a bit of practice to do that without thinking about it. That's not what we're doing here though. We're doing all sorts of muscle exercises. So we are going to adjust the mic here. We'll do it a number of times, and then just move that pop filter out the way, because you usually won't get a pop filter at a poetry gig. We did have one at the Dan O'Connell there for a while, where we were experimenting with pop filters and making them ourselves out of stockings and whatever, but usually you won't have pop filters, you don't really need to worry about that. What we do is we do the top, like I mentioned, and then we've got the bit on the stand. You know, you get this turning bit here where you turn it and you can adjust the pole here. We are going to adjust the pole down the bottom with one hand, then the other hand. One hand, then the other hand. So, what you do is do down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So you can just do that about 5 times. You can do it more if you like. You don't want to mess the thread up there doing it too much. Now, here we get to swap between both hands due to its location. So, you want to loosen it, go down, go up, down, go up. Now, you do that, 5, maybe in 10 if you like. And swap hands, go down, up, down, up. It doesn't finish there. What you want to do next is you go, do one hand, down, up, swap to the other hand, down, up, tighten, loosen, down, up, and loosen, tighten, down, up. Now, do that routine of down and up, 5 times, 10 if you like. I wouldn't do it too often, you might mess up the thread. So, well, that's almost there. If you're doing like a feature set, for example, it may be a good idea to have some fluid there with you to help with your throat or whatever as you're reading. No. So, you get a drink. Now, this is a similar routine for drinking exercises for, say, alcoholics, for example. But in this case, I've just got a glass of water, whatever you need. And you can do it with one hand, and then you can swap and do it with the other hand. In most cases, you might not even have a table. So put the drink on the floor, like so. I just bent my back at the back. What you want to do is bend at the knees. You go to take a sip. So you go down, bend the knees, come back up, sip from the drink, bend the knees, come back up again. Now you get the other hand. Bend down, pick up the glass, take a sip, put it back down again. Right. Now, do it again. Notice by the time you get this far, you're going to be a little sweaty. I'm a little sweaty already. So this is good time to have the drink. Bend the knees. Do that again. So do that about 5 times, going from one hand to the other, then one hand to the other. You can keep doing that till you finish the whole pint if you like. That's up to you. Otherwise, just pop it on the table there and finish the rest off. And, well, you're ready to stand there and practice reading your poetry without stuttering too much, if you like. You can do that if you want. And by now, you've done your warm-up exercises, so your body is warmed up, the required muscles are well flexed, ready to go. So, if you happen to make it a Saturday, you won't be seeing me doing those exercises. You'll be seeing me reading some poetry, playing some music, or bring along one of my guitars and I'll play a few tunes. 2 o'clock, Cherry Tree Hotel in Cremorne, just on the edge of Richmond, right near Richmond Station. Cremorne, Victoria. Okay, catch you later.